Hello, I'm Kristen Brzezinski, executive editor of TV Drama, and I'm speaking with Jon Erwin, co-director of Prime Video's House of David. Hi, Jon.
How's it going? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for taking us behind the scenes. House of David had quickly became a top-ranked series on Prime Video. So, to what do you attribute its success?
I think that there's an enormous audience for this type of content. House of David is based off, King David and David and Goliath, I think are three words that are globally known, but nobody really knows the story. And, it's a best-selling book, the Bible. It's like 5 billion copies sold. So I think people know these stories, they love these stories, and in many ways, these are some of the greatest stories ever told. I really do consider the story of David to be one of the origin stories, if that makes sense. Like this is one of the first hero's journeys, and I think it is a well that many other hero's journey stories are drawn from. And so I'm blown away that I got to tell this story and work with such an amazing team of people. And I'm grateful that the audience loves it. The response to the show has blown our minds to be in the top three of Prime Video since it came out, and also in the top 10 in all of streaming for the week was just something I never dreamed of.
So, tell me a little bit more about the creative inspiration that is behind bringing this biblical epic to life.
Well, this started a long time ago for me. I first began, I had my first spark of curiosity for this project when I was 16 years old, which was a long time. It's how old my daughter is now, and I went to Israel with my dad. He bought me a camera with money he did not have, and we went to do a little documentary, and I was this cameraman, and it was just the holy sites in Israel. We went to Israel, and it was just he and I, and so we stayed in the old city of Jerusalem. And when you've not been outside of America, you don't really realize how new America is on the global stage. And you go to a place like Jerusalem, and you realize that there's thousands of years of history, compounded. And I went to David's tomb, King David's tomb, and they say there's two deaths. There's the moment that you die, and the moment the last person speaks your name. And so to think that the name of this person and his songs have echoed through the centuries for 3,000 years is a really you're awestruck by it when you stop and think about it. And so I started to dream really as a teenager of telling this story. And then as I did the feature films that I was involved in, it was really about working up to trying to tell the story of David and working up to be successful enough where someone would let me. And so the fact that Vernon and Jen and Mike and the whole team at Amazon took a swing on this series and on me. I had not created a TV show before. I'm a feature film director and writer and producer, and so they placed a lot of faith in me and in this team, and I'm very grateful that they did. And I'm just I'm very grateful that the audience has embraced the show the way they have.
Yeah, and why do you think it is that the audience is connecting with David's story in a way that's fresh and powerful?
You know, I think I don't know why there's not more film and television on the life of David. I mean, I think next to Jesus and Moses, he really is, he's in the top five for sure, probably the top three in terms of characters in the Bible. And yet there's not really anything definitive on David and Goliath that I can really think of. And I'm not really sure why that is. I think people resonate with the story the same reason that we resonate with Star Wars or Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings. I mean, these mythic heroes' journeys, I think, are written into our souls. Like, I think we all want some sense that we have a destiny and a role to play in a story that's bigger than we are. And that's why we love these stories, these heroes' journeys, And I think many, again, my opinion or hypothesis, I should say, is that I don't know that you have, a Frodo or a Luke Skywalker or a Harry Potter without this original 3,000 years ago hero's journey of this boy chosen to be king in a nation that already had one and slaying this giant to become the Israel's most famous king. I just think that this is many other heroes' journeys have their roots in this story, and I just think we're drawn to these stories at some human level. And so, whether you know anything about the Bible or not, I think you can relate to a call to adventure and a call to destiny and a road of many trials and a rite of passage and a death and rebirth, that type thing. These are all themes that are deeply human that we're drawn to, and I think that's why so many stories are based off them.
Talk to me about the rise of faith and values-driven storytelling in today's entertainment landscape. How does this differ from what people might traditionally think of when they hear biblical tale?
Yeah, well, I hope you enjoy it. Check it out. I would say that the Bible done right, these are amazing stories. I remember when some of the executives at Amazon read the scripts and the first few, and they're like, "We really like these scripts." I'm like, "It's based off the best-selling book of all time, so people buy it for a reason." I think these are amazing stories, and I think genres do go in cycles. And I think there have been times, like if you think back to Cecil B. DeMille, there were times where biblical stories at scale were very popular in our industry, and so I hope that there's a return to form in a way. But I would say these stories are meaningful to people of faith, and not just Christianity. People of various faiths. These stories are incredibly meaningful to, and people kind of their faith in these stories is a part of the fabric of who they are. I'm one of those people, and so I think there's something very personal and very meaningful about these stories. And so to the extent that they can be told well, I think that they'll be very popular. I think the problem has been, at least in my time in the industry, we call it the gap. You get stories that are authentic to the Christian audience, for example, but very poorly made, or you get projects that are very well made but not authentic to the audience. Sometimes they feel like a betrayal to the audience. So we've been trying to close that gap. There's a few filmmakers that we're trying to get better and better at what we do, but really keep the authenticity to the story and the love of the material, and proudly say that we're a member of this underserved audience. This heartland faith-based audience, and just we're trying to tell the greatest stories we can. I think what people are learning is there's a lot of people in that underserved audience, both in the middle of the country and around the world, that just that the stories that we would find most meaningful are not being told or not being told well. So I think House of David is just another proof point that this audience is very hungry and very underserved and willing to rally and to support whatever destination is going to see them, and I think Prime Video with House of David and also the deal they just announced with my great friend and collaborator Dallas Jenkins and his show The Chosen. I mean, they really are saying very loudly that to our audience that we see you, we're here to serve you, and we're going to empower the top content creators in this space with freedom and creative control and resources that they haven't had before, and it appears to be working.
Well, it really is fantastic. And thank you so much for taking us behind the scenes and congratulations on the success of the series.
Thank you. Thank you. I can't wait for people to see the finale. It's really, really great. And I'm just so grateful that people like the show. So thank you so much.